What if I told you that the exhaustion you feel every single day has nothing to do with how many hours you sleep? Stay with me, because what Carl Jung discovered about empaths and energy will completely change how you understand your own fatigue forever. You see, most people think tiredness is physical. Get more sleep, drink more water, take your vitamins. But Jung's research revealed something far more complex and, frankly, absolutely mind-blowing. Here's what most people don't understand about empathic exhaustion. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll finally understand why you wake up tired even after 8 hours of rest. According to Carl Jung, the human psyche operates like an energy system. He called it psychic energy or libido. But here's the twist that changes everything. While most people's energy depletes through their own activities, empaths experience what Jung termed energetic hemorrhaging. They don't just lose energy through living their own lives, they lose it by unconsciously absorbing everyone else's emotional states. Jung discovered that empaths exist in a state of perpetual psychological osmosis. They're constantly taking in data, feelings, tensions, and unspoken emotions from every person they encounter. And here's where it gets dangerous. This isn't a choice. It's an automatic process happening at the unconscious level. Your mind is working overtime even when you think you're resting. Listen carefully to what happens next, because this is where everything starts making sense. Carl Jung identified what he called the collective unconscious, a shared psychological space we all inhabit. But empaths, according to Jung's theory, have a thinner boundary between their personal unconscious and this collective space. They're like psychological sponges, constantly soaking up the emotional residue of everyone around them. Think about your day. You interact with the stressed barista, the anxious co-worker, the frustrated driver in traffic, your worried family member. Most people register these interactions and move on. But empaths? They absorb each emotional frequency and carry it with them. By the end of the day, they're not just tired from their own experiences, they're exhausted from living multiple emotional lives simultaneously. Here's what Jung understood that most people miss. This absorption doesn't stop when you close your eyes at night. Your unconscious mind, Jung discovered, continues processing all that absorbed emotional data while you sleep. You're not getting rest because your psyche is working the night shift, sorting through everyone else's feelings. But here's where the psychology gets absolutely fascinating. According to Carl Jung, there's a phenomenon he called psychological projection. People unconsciously project their unwanted feelings onto others. And guess who receives the majority of these projections? The empaths. They become emotional dumping grounds without even realizing it. Your co-worker doesn't say they're anxious, but you feel their anxiety. Your partner doesn't admit they're angry, but you absorb their rage. Your friend doesn't express their sadness, but somehow it becomes your burden. Jung discovered that empaths are natural containers for others' disowned emotions, and carrying all these projections, it's absolutely exhausting. Carl Jung said that energy follows attention, and empaths have what he called diffuse attention. Instead of focusing their psychic energy inward on their own needs, they scatter it outward toward everyone else. They're constantly monitoring the emotional temperature of every room they enter, reading micro-expressions, sensing tension, anticipating needs. This hypervigilance, Jung understood, is exhausting at a neurological level. Your brain is doing the work of multiple people simultaneously. You're tracking your own emotions, plus everyone else's, plus the group dynamics, plus the unspoken conflicts. No wonder 8 hours of sleep isn't enough. But here's what will absolutely blow your mind about what's really happening. According to Carl Jung's research on psychological types, empaths possess what he called inferior sensation function. They're so focused on the invisible world of feelings and intuitions that they neglect their physical body's signals. They override their need for rest, push through fatigue, ignore hunger, suppress pain. Why? Because someone else needs them. Jung discovered that this disconnection from the body creates a vicious cycle. The more you ignore your physical needs, the more depleted you become. The more depleted you become, the less able you are to maintain boundaries. The weaker your boundaries, the more energy you lose to others. And round it goes. Here's where Jung's wisdom becomes absolutely critical. Carl Jung understood that empaths suffer from what he called inflation of responsibility. They unconsciously believe they're responsible for everyone's emotional well-being. If someone is upset, they must fix it. If someone is uncomfortable, they must ease it. If someone is suffering, they must absorb it. This isn't compassion. Jung would call this a psychological complex, an unconscious pattern running your life, and it's draining you completely. Because here's the truth Jung discovered. You cannot heal someone else's wounds by making them your own. You cannot fix someone else's pain by carrying it for them. You're not helping them, you're just exhausting yourself. But the transformation that's possible, what Jung discovered about reclaiming your energy, it's absolutely game-changing. According to Carl Jung, the path to wholeness requires what he called individuation. For empaths, this means learning to distinguish between your energy and others' energy. It means recognizing when you're feeling your own emotions versus absorbing someone else's projections. It means developing what Jung termed psychological boundaries, not walls that shut people out, but membranes that let in what's yours and keep out what isn't. Jung discovered that empaths must learn to practice what he called conscious withdrawal, periodically pulling your energy back from others and redirecting it toward yourself. This isn't selfish, it's survival. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and your cup has been empty for far too long. Here's the part that will change everything for you. Carl Jung said that the most powerful act is reclaiming your projected energy. All that attention you've been giving to everyone else's feelings, needs, and problems, that's your life force scattered across dozens of people. Jung understood that gathering this energy back, consciously choosing where you invest your attention, this is how empaths finally experience true rest. The awakened empath learns to ask the most important question Jung ever posed. Whose feeling is this really? When exhaustion hits, they pause. Is this my tiredness, or am I carrying someone else's depletion? Is this my anxiety, or am I absorbing the collective stress around me? This awareness, Jung discovered, is the first step toward energetic sovereignty. But here's the final piece that makes everything click into place. According to Carl Jung, true rest for an empath isn't just about sleep. It's about what he called psychological hygiene. It's learning to clear your energy field the way you'd wash your body. It's practicing conscious solitude, not because you hate people, but because you love yourself enough to recharge. It's saying no without guilt, creating space without explanation, choosing silence without apology. Jung discovered that when empaths finally prioritize their own energetic well-being, something miraculous happens. They don't become less compassionate, they become more effective, because they're finally operating from a full tank instead of running on empty. They're choosing consciously where to invest their energy rather than unconsciously leaking it everywhere. The exhaustion you feel isn't a character flaw. It's not laziness or weakness. According to Carl Jung's lifetime of research, it's the natural consequence of living without energetic boundaries in a world that constantly demands your emotional labor. But once you understand this, once you learn to reclaim your scattered energy and direct it consciously, you finally discover what true rest feels like. Not just sleep, but soul-level restoration. And that, Jung would say, changes everything.